And Jeff.
And we are not a bunch of aliens or, we've not been body snatched. It is us. We're just all recovering from sickness in various places. But we are bringing you the running news from the week, whether it's to entertain you on your long run or to give you something to talk about with your running group. We've got you covered, although we don't have a lot covered today. So we're going to do our best. We just were chit-chatting about your recovery from the flu. And
Yeah.
how discouraging is it so you went on your run, right? You did your mile run, 10 whatever pace, and you're like dying. Do you think like I'm never going to run fast again? Or are you just like tomorrow will be easier?
Yeah, no, it's like a lot of things. I mean, I hadn't been sick in a long time, and then I got sick, I don't know, a month ago, right? Just a regular cold. And then, this month I got sick and got like the flu. And it's like, you feel like when you're sick, you feel like you're never going to get better. And
Yeah.
when you're better, I feel like, oh man, I got the best immune system in the world. I'm never going to get sick. And the same
Yeah.
thing with running too. It's like, you go out there and run that 10-minute mile, and it's like, man, my lungs are burning. I feel like I'm at ground zero. And yeah, you feel like, wow, is it over? Am I never going to be able to run like fast again?
Yeah.
But you know, then there's a logical part that says, nah, I mean, it's not been that long. I'll bounce back pretty quick. I hope. How about you?
Agreed.
Now that you're feeling sick.
No, I feel like I have a similar thing, right? When you're sick, you're like, oh, I'm actually never going to feel good again. And then when you're not sick, like every year I get this, I'm like, oh man, we missed that first wave. Everyone at his school was sick all through like the holiday breaks to the point where like people were like, don't send your kids. Everyone was going crazy over the sickness because they were like, I guess everyone was so mad that they were all sick. They had to cancel the holiday party, all the things, which I get stinks, right? And I'm like, wow, we're like the only ones who didn't get sick. Like, we are crushing it on the immune system. We're not social. Like, we're doing it all. And then it got us. So, yeah, it's just one of those things that, like, and I feel like I always see, unfortunately, I'm on like the mom Facebook groups of the world, and it's always like, what can I do to have my kids not get sick? And it's like, with like all things, there's not like a magic. There's no magic, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah. Wash
there's
your
some
hands.
things yeah, like there's things you can do that are worse, and there's maybe some things you can do that are like better just in general for health, but like there's not going to be like eat this thing and your immune system's just not gonna, because like if your immune system's working, like you will get sick and you will feel this way because it is working and it's getting rid of the germ, you know what I mean? Anyway,
Yeah.
um, so yeah, so I get like that too, and I'm gonna go for a run walk today when we get off the podcast, and I'm sure it's gonna be just horrible. But it is kind of not like fun is not the right word, but I'm just like my brain is inside of, you know, my sick brain. Um,
I
but
will say, by the oh, sorry. By the way, I will say the converse is also true, right? From the standpoint of, like, since I was feeling sick last week or this week, I'm like, I can't wait to feel good and go for a run and just feel good.
yeah,
Well, yeah. So like that day you get out there that you start feeling good again, and you're like, oh yeah, you know what? I just want to go. I want to go for that run. I want to run versus like I don't feel like doing anything. So anyway, sorry.
no, I mean that's like kind of where I was actually getting to was like, um, that really fast progression of like, wow, this feels horrible, but then, in 2 days it feels better, and then by 4 days you're like, I feel awesome, because like we don't really get to experience that because so much of your progress in running and getting faster is so slow, so like tiny little increments, so you don't feel that like I'm amazing, but it's like you get a little bit of that when you're recovering from being sick. So I guess that's just a little bit of the positivity there. I think like we both said, we don't really have a whole lot to catch up on and or news wise, but we didn't talk about unless we did talk about this. Did we talk about Quebec's 4-year ban? Kenya's
I don't
Bernard?
know that we did.
You don't know if we did or not.
I don't think so.
Okay.
Just
Yeah, I don't
Quebec.
remember. Kenya's Bernard Quebec coach banned for athlete biological passport violation. Banned 4 years. DQ'd from wait, what? Maybe this is old.
Okay, so it wasn't Beatrice Chibet. So anyway,
No. Quebec with a K.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, I don't know him. This also looks now. I'm like, is this an old article that I
No,
missed?
I did see that one last week. I don't know if we mentioned it or not. I did see it because it's Coach, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I did see it because I saw him and I'm thinking, oh, is that either John Coach or Faniel Coach or one of the ones I actually knew, but
Right.
it wasn't. It wasn't one of those two that I knew. But he is a good runner.
Yeah. Just more people
Another
getting into.
another Kenyan banned for doping. Again, Kenya's a big country. There are many that aren't banned. There are many that are clean. Just like the U.S., there's a lot of U.S. athletes. We've mentioned them before that get into either police trouble or have banned substances, and it shouldn't taint the whole group. There are many, many clean runners.
Yeah, we've talked about this before, just like how discouraging it is and can be just constantly seeing like more and more people who have medals, have records, have whatever it is, and you're like, is any of it real? You know what I mean?
You know who has a record and I think is clean? Do you know who has the 400-meter world indoor record?
Men or women?
Oh, sorry, women. The woman's 400-meter indoor record, someone that's on our list for talking about today.
No.
FemKe Ball.
Does she?
I was shocked. I was looking at it because one of the things, my point about her, and for those who don't know, she's changed. FemKe Ball is the second best 400-meter hurdler in the world, and has announced that she's changing events to the 800-meter and just ran the 800-meter, the open 800-meter last week, and did it very well. So we'll talk about that in a few minutes. But my point with her was, you're the second fastest 400-meter hurdler in the world. And then I was looking and it said that she holds the world record for the 400-meter indoor. I'm thinking,
wow.
I had to look it up on Wikipedia and she does.
I didn't know that at all. That's surprising. It shouldn't be, but it is a little bit.
Yeah, no, it's surprising. So, and my point with her is, she is one of the handful of best in the world at either the 400-meter or the 400-meter hurdles. Why change to the 800-meter? And she did run a great race. And I'll give you, I don't know whether you saw the video of her running the 800 meters.
I didn't see the video, no.
She looked great. She looked phenomenal because she's a taller athlete. So she looked incredibly smooth.
Yeah.
Didn't look fatigued. Her style is phenomenal. Again, maybe because I'm a fan, but she just looked smooth. She didn't look like she was struggling. Her first 200 meters was, I think, 27. To run 2 minutes, you have to run 30, 30, 30, and 30. So she ran 27, then like 30 point something the rest of the three 200-meter runs. So she finished in under two minutes, which is a great threshold. Now the world record for, you're still probably 3 or 4 seconds off the world record indoors at that point in time still. So there's still a big gap between breaking 2 and setting the world record in the 800-meter. So anyway, my point being, I want her to be one of the best in the world, not one of the 15 best in the world. So I'm hoping that she, great debut in the 800, but I'm still unsure whether that's going to translate to being one of the top 2 in the world or the world best.
Yeah. No, it is surprising, especially knowing she holds that record for the indoor, that she wouldn't just move to the 400. I don't know how much of her narrative, like for herself, is like trying to get away from Sydney or not. Because it seems like, at least like the way we all talk about everything, again, like Sydney is number 1, but also she's an American athlete. So, it's just like we talk about them more. So I don't know if that's like skewing my perspective or if it's like, yeah, it kind of seems like she's always just like right there. And maybe she's trying to just separate herself even more to pick a different open category to get into. Yeah. So that's interesting. I guess just we want to get into it about her. When I first saw the time, because I don't pay attention to indoor times, I was like, oh, she didn't run that well. I didn't realize that that actually is a pretty good time for indoor compared
Yeah.
to outdoor, because I saw that, like, Keely Hodgkinson runs, like, a 1:57 something, so it's only 2 seconds off, and she's sometimes the best for the 800 outdoor.
Yeah, I think she's certainly in the running as maybe the top, but she's in the top three for women in the world in the 800 meters. So yeah, so she's probably the standard.
Yeah,
Um, our friend a thing Mo was the standard, but she's disappeared.
yeah.
So where in the heck in the world is a thing Mo these days?
I think the last thing we reported on her too was that she was moving coaches, was that? I don't actually remember if that's even or not. She had that really
That's been rumored. I don't know, and you may be right, and you usually are right about these things. That you see them before I do, or at least remember them better than I do. But yeah, I know she is it Curse is her coach, and um, he's not necessarily an 800-meter specialist,
yeah,
and and again, whether she's screwed up because of coaching or screwed up just because of whether it's mental, physical, who knows? I mean, many great young female in particular athletes do struggle to translate long term. That they can be phenomenal in high school and even in early college, but something either physiologically, psychologically, whatever impacts them differently. Probably most people are physical, I'm sure.
yeah.
Either weight loss and other things, hormonal things that happen with their body that just prevent you from being at that sort of elite level anymore.
Yeah, no, it definitely is like a bummer for her, and yeah, because it is hard to just point to one thing, because she had that horrible accident in that race that, I don't think that that probably is still what the problem is, but like that could have then snowballed into this amount of time being off, trying to get back into, all the things
Yeah,
for
the
her.
accident being, I think she fell just before the finish line in the U.S. Championships and missed the Olympics
Yeah,
this past year. Oh, I guess it's now 2 years ago.
yeah. Oh,
So yeah,
speaking of Olympics, are you watching any Olympics? No, there's no running, but
there's no running. I mean, I don't want to take like a crazy take, but I mean, the Summer Olympics has so many variety of sports and track and fields in it, and there's 1,000 events that I love. Winter Olympics is a little bit more sparse. There are some great stories, and we've been watching. Reagan's a big fan, so we've been watching a number of either skiing events, snowboarding events, and there's great drama in the way it's presented, whether it be a crash that happens and destroys someone's dreams or someone comes out of nowhere to win the gold. So there's some great stories when you do invest the time to watch it. I just find it a little more difficult to, like the curling story. I don't love watching a curling event, and even ice hockey. I like ice hockey, but I have a hard time watching some of the earlier rounds. It's like, oh man, when it gets to the medal round, I'll watch it. So, how about you? Have you been watching any?
um, like barely. I'm not like a huge winter sports person either. I mean, we watch a lot of like the downhill skiing stuff. We were watching, I don't know, James was asking about whatever they were doing. And so we
Did you
watched a
see
little bit of,
Lindsey Vaughn's crash?
I didn't see it, but I keep hearing updates on it. Um, yeah, I mean, it's crazy and like dangerous. So like respect to all those athletes. The only things I've really been seeing is that one, I guess it was cross country skiing probably. The guy was skiing uphill at a 6-minute mile pace. So everyone's always talking about like how crazy that must be. And yeah, like
I
that
did
is
see. I saw a video. I'm sure it's the probably the same guy, and it's just he is sprinting uphill on skis, and it is crazy.
yeah, so crazy. So like those things are kind of fun. I'm drawing a blank on who the athlete is, but there's some female athlete who got into some kind of cross country skiing something. I don't think it's they have so many names that are, like, random for those things too, right? Um, but they're like, "Oh, she won her first skiing event ever to get to the Olympics, and it's because of trail running." Like, she was a trail runner, and now she
Yeah.
does this. So, it's just kinda fun to see running kinda getting in the mix for.
When you mentioned the skier, I assumed you were going to the big story is one of the biathlon athletes, right? This is the cross country skiing and shooting athletes confessed that he cheated on his girlfriend. Did you see that story?
I heard that story being covered in another pop culture podcast, and I was
What's
just like,
wrong with? I mean, one, you shouldn't cheat on your girlfriend. Two, I mean, you should confess to your significant other that you cheated. But then to just be announcing it publicly, like it's like you're crying. It's just a total mess.
yeah, it's, like, not the grand gesture that he probably was thinking it was. It's like, "Oh, so now you've
I'm
embarrassed
gonna win her
me."
back.
Yeah. Like, "This isn't gonna go well now. I hate you even more because everyone that ever was gonna know me knows that you cheated on me after 3 months." Like, what a
Yeah,
mess.
yeah. You cheated on
People are
me,
not
and what
stars.
self-respecting person am I gonna be to then take you back? It's like I don't
Right.
know. Yeah, it
Ugh.
what a mess. I mean, it's like, I'm sure, like you said, I'm sure he didn't think it was going to go this way when he started that conversation.
No, not at all. People don't think. But yeah, so no, not keeping up that much on the Winter Olympics so much. But I like the endurance. I like endurance sports. So like, any kind of cross country skiing stuff I definitely am gonna get into. What other random news do I have? Oh, so I saw this thing, Runner's World always with their random like, I'm like, "Who
Yep.
submits these stories to Runner's World?" I don't know. This guy runs exactly 1 sub-6 mile a month to prove he's fit. He might be a genius. That's, like, the heading of this thing. Um, so it's, like, not even that interesting of an article. Um, this
Hey,
it's
am
a
I a
young.
genius for running one sub 7 minute mile every month? Does that make me a genius? Because maybe this guy's a genius.
Yeah, so I'm not even sure, like, where the genius part comes into any of it. I mean, yes, to some extent, it's like, okay, you're testing if you're still fit. But so it sounds like he goes out, gets on the treadmill, runs a sub-6 mile, and then is like, cool, don't have to work out for another month. Then he gets back on the treadmill, does a sub-6. He's like, so I guess if he does not do that, then he'll start working out. He's also like 24, so it's like,
Yeah,
okay,
dude, you're fit just because you're 24.
right, right. And now you're not building a habit of now, like,
Yeah,
exercise, getting that into your life.
I'm sorry. So his thing is his genius is he runs on the treadmill once a month.
That's what it sounds like.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that seems like, yeah. And by the way, just for the record, we dismissed my 6:59 treadmill mile as
Yeah.
being not legit.
Yeah, he should have, like, a little asterisk.
Yeah,
Treadmill, sub 6.
treadmill. Yeah, treadmill run. Yeah, that doesn't count.
Yeah, that's true. I didn't even think of that.
I
Um,
did.
yes, I'm not really into this as being a test of fitness, at all. It's a
Well,
good way
I
to, like.
do, I do, I do like it though, from the standpoint of he gets out there and does a hard effort. It does show you're fit. I always feel like if I can go out and run 4 miles, even if I just did it once a week, for the rest of my life, there's a point like, oh, you're in the top 1%, 1/10 of 1% being pick a number, 70 years old and going out and running 4 miles. Who could? How many people can do that? Not many. And by the way, as for the record, I'm not 70. I'm just saying as an example.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, it's definitely, like, a fun idea.
It's
My
not
whole thing.
genius though.
No, definitely not genius, and it's not like a biohack or anything, it's not like he's able to sustain that. It's just like he's lucky that he's fit enough now. It's not like that's a training mechanism that if he does this every month for a year, he's going to be able to keep, you know what I mean? Like there would just be a time where it just falls off and it's not going to sustain and, but,
Yeah, you're right. I don't know what you're gaining from this. I mean, yes, you do. It does show that you're a human and you're relatively young and fit, and not many people could probably jump on a treadmill and do a 6-minute mile.
yeah.
So that's great. But yeah, I mean, unless you're trying to improve, I mean, is that really a challenge? Like being able to do something that you can do, and just being able to, because you just happen to be a person who's got good cardio. What are you accomplishing? It's not showing that you're overcoming anything. It doesn't show that you're progressing. You're not progressively overloading your body. You're not, increasing your mileage to improve your time. You're not racing. I don't know, like what, to me, it feels like it's just a little bit of a, like, okay, I can go bake a cake once a month. And does that really prove anything? It's like, I'm capable of doing that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and again, like, if you're trying to think of like lifelong fitness or health is like, I don't think you really want to start intervening once it's already like things are getting worse. You know what I mean? Like, what is the metric for like, oh, now I've dipped above a 6-minute mile. I guess I'll start working out. Like, it's just
Yeah.
kind of a
And now I'm gonna train. Yeah.
weird approach.
Yeah.
But
Agreed.
there's an article written about him and says he's a genius. So there's that. And then I have
Yeah.
one
No.
last. Oh,
And by the way, Runner's World, I don't know why I'm going to try to do this, but I always feel like they have the clickbaitiest headlines. And by the way, they always restrict the articles too. I mean, like
always.
I'd say not every time, but half the time I click on it, and it's like, oh, you need to subscribe to get this article.
Oh, 100%. I end up finding them on social media, and then I'll be able to read, like, a quick blurb about what that article was about. I'm like, "Well, thank goodness there was no substance or, like, facts I needed from this article because 'cause I'm not gonna read it because it's restricted." You know what I mean? I always have a dream in my head that we'll do an episode of, like, the most ridiculous Runner's World headlines, but then I never can find, like, a nice compiled list of them, so I have yet to do so. If anyone wants to steal that idea, just give us credit.
By the way,
Um
I had the same idea, so it must be a very common idea because I always see those headlines. I'm like, oh, this is a great headline, but then I can't get the article. And the same thing with the Apple News. They also have a bunch of like crazy headlines, but then that's like $10 a month.
Crazy, yeah.
I mean, come on, man. I mean, I don't. I'm not going to spend $10 a month
No,
to get Apple News.
no. It's the news, like, tell us for free, come
Yeah, the
on.
news. It's news.
Yeah, craziness. And then last of my news is Strava just deleted millions of fake workouts. So Strava has removed between 3.5 and 3.9 million activities after identifying widespread misuse of its leaderboard system, including workouts recorded using cars, bikes, or e-bikes, but uploaded as legitimate runs or rides. The global cleanup is aimed to restoring fairness on segments where unusually fast times have become increasingly common. Thoughts on
This is
that?
sad. It's a sad story that there are 3.9 whatever number million
Like,
different cheating episodes.
and like cheat. Okay, not that cheating's ever good, right? But if you're cheating as your career because you need to like provide for yourself, provide for your family. You can understand what drives you to cheat, right? You're like,
Yeah.
I'm just not good enough anymore, or I never was quite good enough, and this is what pushed me over the edge. I need to be able to make money and whatever, all this stuff. In Strava, you're cheating so people think you're good at running, and then they meet you and you're not good at running. Like, what? I don't understand the point of that.
Yeah, let's go on a running date. Oh, no. I save all my running for Strava. I can't do a running date.
Like,
No, can't do that.
what even possesses someone to be like, "I'm gonna get in my car, record this Strava workout, and pretend I ran
Yeah,
that
I'm gonna
fast?"
waste time. Just you're right. Getting on a bike and just pretending it's a run, or getting in a car and driving a route at a certain pace, just to show that just to pretend I did a run.
Like, unless these are mistakes because And maybe I'm just giving 3.9 million people the benefit of the doubt, and I'm sure that's not it. Because I do have sometimes, like in the coaching app, if I have the workouts written in there, and if somebody does a bike instead of a run, like it might show up in there as a run because that's what was planned, but they ended up on the bike, or cross training stuff shows up. Like, different things sometimes could show up in a different way and it does look a little wonky. So unless like someone opened up Strava and then got on their butt, but I'm just like, no, that can't be what the problem is. But I'm like, maybe once or twice that's what happened. But yeah, I don't understand why. What is the point to fake a run for
It's
social?
attention. People want attention.
Yeah,
I
that's
guess. I
sad.
mean, that has to be it, right? I mean, that people want to look at me and look how good I am. I don't know, man. How does that feel to like pretend you're a runner? Like, dude, just go out and run. No, I don't
Yeah,
have to get it. No one cares if you run a 7 minute mile or a 6 minute mile or a 10 minute mile. No one
right.
cares. So you're making some leaderboard that your name's on a board somewhere? Come on.
And if you want people to
It's
be
sad.
excited for you, like, go run with a running group, and even if you're so slow, like, people are gonna be excited that you came out and ran, and they might even clap for you to, like, finish the loop or whatever, you know what I mean? Like, if you need people to be excited, like, go to an in-person running thing.
Yeah, make a friend. Yeah,
Yeah.
get a friend and just go out for a run. Put it on Strava. Go ahead, put it on Strava. No one cares.
Did you hear about, like, it's probably 10 years ago at this point, like, Britney Spears had posted on social media one time that she ran 100 meters in 5.9 seconds or something, and she's like, "Beat my record, 100 meters in 5 seconds." Then she showed, like, her stopwatch app on her phone, said, like, 5.9. It's like, "What the hell?" But she's, like, diagnosed unwell for a lot of things, so, like, okay.
Yeah, Britney Spears is not necessarily the standard for stability.
No, no, and she probably also didn't even mean 100 meters, like, who knows what she was even talking about, honestly, right? But yeah, it's, like, giving me the same vibe of, like, what is going on here? Like, why are we
Yeah, it's
making
like, yeah,
up?
this is weird. This is confusing. Oh
Ugh,
man. Did you see
horrible.
my friend Jakob Ingebrigtsen finally threw in the towel for 2026? So if you anyone who recalls, he is the best in my opinion. 1,500 meter to 5,000 meter runner. Maybe him and Cole Hocker right now are probably tops of the game or were over the last 5 years. Um, but he last year struggled with his Achilles. He ran the world indoor mile record. I think he still holds that. He does still hold that. Um, Early in 2025, he set that right after Yard Nagus had set it like the week before. Um, but in the outdoor season, he didn't run much because of his Achilles and ran the outdoor world championships, but didn't perform very well because he couldn't train. But anyway, threw in the towel last week and got the Achilles surgery done in California. So I assume 2026 is out. I mean, you can't. That's got to take. That's got to take a year to fully recover from.
Yeah, surgery's so tough because I just feel like it can be so hard to come back from that, you know? Um,
Yeah,
so
and
yeah, I
it's
mean,
not like it was like an appendectomy or something, right? It's not something that's like okay, it's not necessarily impacted by running, so to speak.
right.
But your Achilles, I mean, every step is stretching your Achilles. So you've got to be, it's got to be a full year recovery, in my view. This is
Well, I mean,
Dr. Jeff.
yeah, if he calls Aaron Rodgers' doctors, maybe he'll be better in, like, 3 weeks, but,
Yeah. Yeah.
you
Aaron
know.
Rodgers didn't look good though when he came. I mean, he
Oh,
said he was
no?
coming back. He never actually came back, by the way.
Oh,
Yeah.
I was
I think he
fooled.
said he was coming back. And this was like the year of the Jets when he ruptured his Achilles. He's like, I'll be back for the playoffs. And he never came back. He didn't end up playing.
See, I watched, like, 2 episodes of his documentary, and I stopped watching it because I wasn't that interested, but I just assumed that everything he was saying was real, and he did come back.
Yeah, he
Oh,
did come
never
back to
mind.
play football like the next year. But I think
Alright.
what he's saying at the time was he was gonna. It was like a miracle recovery. He was going to be back for the playoffs for the Jets. I don't know if they even made the playoffs that year. But anyway, he
Yeah.
was. He never did come back that year because he did. He blew his Achilles. like the fourth play of the game in game one. So I
Yeah.
was like, they're like, oh my god, like what a disaster for the Jets.
Yeah. Disaster.
Yeah, I think he
Um,
may be fully retired now. I mean, I think he, in true Aaron Rodgers form, I don't think he's announced one way or the other whether he's retired or not retired.
yeah.
So
'Cause he's in Pittsburgh now, right?
yeah, Pittsburgh now, yeah, and they
Weird.
just changed coaches, so he might be back. There might be one more year of Aaron or two. Who
Well,
knows?
I hope Jakob has a better outcome, better results, because he's still young, right? He's under 30?
Oh yeah, he's still young. Yeah, he's definitely under 30.
Yeah, so I really do hope we see him back because, like you mentioned, we there are so many really great athletes that run the same races as him that it is nice to see, like, all of that big competition. We had that last year with the indoors where, records were just falling left and right because these guys were just so competitive. So, I do hope he comes back and we get to see all of that, and I know he is a fan favorite, definitely fun to watch, so
Yeah,
I
it's
hope
funny because I was going to compare him to Noah Lyles because he is a little bit like he's. I know, but I like Jakobs, so I'm much more forgiving. But he is certainly not the antics of the Pokemon cards and whatever those things were. But he certainly he's more animated. He does like he waves his arm sometimes to the crowd as he's finishing up his race. I mean he's done that before, so he's a little more animated and maybe controversial in that regard than other athletes are sometimes. But that's as we've said, the sport needs more personalities, people to get behind.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
then aren't
we
annoying.
need like the Olympics, like the NBC, like the backstory, and I think they probably do some of these in like when you get to the World Championships, but there's not like they're not on TV the way they are for like the Olympics, like the sporting events where there's nice drama, they can tell a story, you can get behind an athlete. You just don't have that same thing for track and field.
Yeah, well, I mean, Netflix tried to do that, what was it, like, 2 years ago when they made that Sprint documentary? Um, they just unfortunately picked, like, a bad crowd. I mean, they followed Noah Lyles, they followed Fred Curley, they followed Sha'Carri, and it was, like, Sharika Jackson, and she was, like, the only likable one, so it's just a tough look,
I
but
still
yeah,
didn't watch that series.
more and more I'm like, "Doesn't really matter." I liked it when I watched it, but, eh, didn't age great.
Yeah. Well, and we wouldn't be. I'd be remiss if I didn't bring up the what do they call the games? The fake games that are happening soon with where you can use PEDs.
Enhanced games. Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
enhanced, yeah. By the
Ugh.
way, if Fred Curley, and someone could debate whether he was on performance enhancing drugs in the past, but um, if Fred Curley doesn't break any records or anything, does that mean these enhanced games are a fraud? Or maybe he was always on performance enhancing drugs? Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a good point, right? Like, if no one does any, like, amazing stuff, yeah, it kind of is like, what is the point? But also, like, if you think about it, it's not at least now, it's not attracting the best of the best, and I think we've also talked about this just, like, in general, talking about, like, CrossFit or whatever else is, like, you know, g cheating can give you an edge, but, like, you already have to be disciplined, committed, an amazing athlete, have all these other things that line up too, and then this is gonna give you edge, but, like, Joe Schmo who never worked out, doesn't do anything, hasn't been impressive, like, it's only gonna get you so far, so, because, at least for now, all these amazing athletes are still, for the most part, staying the traditional route, not cheating and, going into the leagues that make sense to be in, um, yeah, we might not actually see anything spectacular unless it's like, I wanna say, like, washed up people like Fred who run well, and maybe if he's allowed to cheat now, he'll be on the I don't know.
Yeah, no, I like the way you described Fred Curley as the washed up Fred.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. You may get some mail on that one.
Come for me, I'm not scared, although he does seem to hit women, so maybe I should be scared.
Yeah,
Yikes.
yeah, yeah. I mean, there's a lot of people out there that are probably Fred haters.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm not worried.
Anything on Coach's Corner today? We got.
Oh yeah.
I think last week we said we were going to tell people how to be a better runner in 2026.
I mean, we just had that genius thing from the guy who runs 1 mile a
Well,
month.
yeah.
So
By the way,
yeah.
that would be number one on the list of bad advice, as far as how to be a better runner for 2026. Number one is to be consistent and run like 3 times a week. So that's number one on the list of things to do. Running once a month, your 6 minute mile is contrary to the best advice for 2026.
You think?
Yeah. Number two on the list, and I can tell you not open, you haven't opened this yet,
Yeah.
was sign up to race. I think that's a good advice because I think that does help put like a little bit of a benchmark out there for you. Like otherwise, your training can get stale. It gives you sort of like something to shoot for each month, or whatever, every couple months, and you can see improvement too. I mean, you may not improve, but it gives you, yeah, you know what? This training, adding the speed work did increase my 5K time. Oh, I did feel better in this 5K versus this 5K. So I thought that was good advice.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about that when we just in general talking about our own training is like if we had a race, um, we would feel more motivated. It would kind of have just like able to jumpstart things. And then when we talked about park run, I feel like we also kind of talked about that is like it gives you something to work towards. Um, Sorry, I'm
Yeah,
like still trying to find it.
no, that's okay. I'm going to keep going down the list so that as you look for, because it was pretty far down the running channel list at this
Oh,
point in time. They've been great. They put out like almost like an article a day these days.
oh yeah.
Um, their advice was to, by the way, just to pick different terrain occasionally. Don't always run on the roads. Pick some trails, pick some hills, pick some other things that will give you a nice variety. One, it makes your running probably more interesting and pass time better, but two, it'll make you a better runner, as you sort of you challenge your body differently. Running up a hill is different than running on a flat surface. Running on a trail, those little inconsistencies in the way the foot strikes the ground strengthens your ankle and legs and knees and hips. So all those things can benefit you as a runner.
We've talked about that, definitely on this show. I think even on our old show when we used to interview, like, other runners and stuff too, is, like, that was a big thing everyone's always talking about, whether it was runners or coaches or trainers or whatever, is, like, get on that different terrain, feel how that feels, work different muscles, it just keeps everything engaged and, definitely can be helpful, and we've talked about this too of, like, illegitimizing your treadmill run is like, yeah, you can't if you wanna be able to run outside though, you can't just run on the treadmill.
Yeah,
And
I will say running outside, I know from experience that running a mile on a treadmill isn't the same as running a mile outdoors. I mean, just that little bit of a hill that you'll hit when you're running outside a mile, it just challenges your body, your lungs, your cardio has to go up that much more, ramp up to get you over that hill. So it's definitely a different challenge to run outside. The wind makes a big difference sometimes too. So yeah, they talk about joining a run club or having a run crew. I think that's great if you're one of those people that can do that. I do find that I'm not a big run club guy, but even a crew, it's nice to have one consistent person that you can run with. But you get beyond one guy that's also trying to do the same thing that you're trying to do. It gets difficult to coordinate schedules and meet up at the same time. So
totally.
I'm a lone wolf guy, but that's just me.
Yeah. You're not trying to do, like, all the Strava friends, right?
Yeah.
Show off for everyone on Strava.
I don't even have Strava. I've never downloaded Strava. I don't have Strava. Do you? Do you use it?
No, I had it for, like, a very short period of time, I think maybe in between, like, using the watch or something, um but yeah, and then it just didn't make sense because 'cause I'm not, like, a social media person, and then, you're reading, like, one too many things about people knowing your location and being able to see your route. It's just like, yeah, why do you need any of that? I don't know. So, no, I don't Strava.
Maybe you're too young or too old now. You've jumped the shark. you're not a 20-year-old anymore where, that you cared about the social media. Do you do any social media stuff anymore?
Um, like barely. So I go on because again, this is the annoying thing is like you want to avoid social media, but also like some of the groups I'm in, like the homeschooling group, like they all plan all their events on Facebook. So I have to log on Facebook to see, when we're doing the Valentine's Day party and blah, 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 blah. So like you get on there and then it is a rabbit hole. If you're like, oh, so what else is there? I see that the park rangers have a different class, I try to keep it focused though on like just looking for events, but it's hard. And then, Instagram, I don't really do except for my husband still sends me, 50 messages a day of things I have to watch on Instagram, so I'm like,
So someone in your household is scrolling through Instagram on a regular basis, but it's not you.
well, and it ends up being me because he's like, how come you haven't responded to my messages in days? And I'm like, I can't keep up. I can't keep up with all the memes. Like they're not even funny to me.
Is it still women's basketball?
Oh, he's fallen off of the women's basketball hate. I don't know if maybe they're not playing right now. I don't know enough about women's basketball, but it hasn't been a lot of women's basketball lately, so that's good.
Okay, well, there is a lot of college women's basketball right now. I don't know when the pros are playing. I honestly don't follow women's basketball that closely, but I do know the NCAA tournament is coming up, March Madness. Everyone knows about March Madness.
I don't think he hates all women's sports. I think college basketball for women is not the same as the WNBA. I think he just hates the WNBA. But I don't know.
Well, finishing up what's going to make you a better runner in 2026.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah,
see.
yeah.
Invest in a good kit. I always see that term. I'm like, what's a kit for, a runner? But it says not just shoes. So I guess there are. It's important to have good socks and a pair of comfortable shorts and shirt. There's certainly different material makes a big difference. Like cotton shirts stick to your body when they get wet in the summertime and you're sweating and they can chafe. And so yeah, there is something to be said for some good clothing. No one wants a good blister. There is no such thing as a good blister, by the way.
Yeah.
Let's see, cross training. Do you recommend for your coachees cross training? Like, do a lot of people do cross training?
I don't think a lot of people. Well, I don't actually know. So everyone I coach does, whether
Okay.
it's like 2 times a week of strength training. Sometimes there's an additional bike or whatever. I have some people who do Orange Theory Fitness, Pilates class. Like it's a lot of different things. So, but I do try to have people do like 2 days a week of a different workout if possible. Um, I don't do that. I just feel like it's hard to have the time to like add another thing all the time, but I
Yeah.
think it is good. I mean, um,
Yeah.
it's like
If you're committed to being better,
you
yeah,
got to do it.
number one is probably get, as we said on the list, number one was being consistent. So consistently getting your own runs in. Nothing's going to make you a better runner than running, but
Right.
to supplement that and make you improve overall beyond what you could achieve by just running. You're right. Cross training and other things will really give you a benefit that you wouldn't see otherwise, where you can add miles and cardio without straining your body into one activity. So,
Yeah, I think it is really the big thing for not getting hurt or burnt out or whatever it is doing that because you are staying fit, you are getting fitter, but you're not doing the same continuous thing all the time. And I apologize to any of the listeners. I can like feel myself becoming more disgustingly sick as the episode continues. I hate that. Like I'm one of those people who like cannot stand sniffles. I had to leave our room last night because Josh would just not stop sniffling his nose. And I was like, if I don't leave this room, I'm going to kill you. Like I just can't stand the sound of a sniffly person. It's disgusting. But I feel myself being sniffed. Like I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, everyone. I'm almost done. I swear.
all right. Well, I think everything else on this list is like listening to your body. And we talked about
Yeah.
that before. That was the last one. Actually, just listening to, dealing with mental and stress management is the last one. I think both are the same, right? Listening to your body physically. Is it telling you that it's injured, it needs rest? And then, mental strength and avoid stress. Like, stress is draining, and it can both mentally fatigue you, but also physically fatigue you. But not there's a depression aspect, I think, that comes along with just dealing with stress. You just don't want to do other things sometimes, and to the extent that you can limit that, it's not easy to limit stress, but to the extent that you can, maybe avoid that person that's sniffling next to you, and don't want to kill them. So anyway, yeah, there's a lot you can do. Great articles on the running channel. That's my endorsement. Hey, last thing I saw, we've mentioned it before, was I finally saw that Nike got out its Mind 001 shoes in
Oh, yeah.
2020. I tried to buy them this morning, and they were sold out.
Oh my gosh, wow.
Yeah, I don't know whether the listing is sold out because they're still launching them, or they launched them and they're sold out. But I've seen articles on them, so people have them. They look nice. There's a
Yeah.
tie version and a slip-on version. Um,
Wow.
well, I mean, again, I'm not necessarily endorsing Nike. That's not what I do, but they did look kind of cool. I'm sure it's all marketing. Like they talk about a brain. It helps to connect to your brain and create relief of stress and that kind of stuff. That's the tie-in to stress here, by the way. Um,
Yeah.
but I doubt that there's really a whole lot of like stress management that's coming from wearing a pair of shoes. But that's just me.
Yeah, well, keep us posted because I am so curious if you end up getting them and what your thoughts are. And with the thing on stress too is like, I think especially lately, people get into these like fads that you like now see everywhere all over the place, whether it's cauliflower or whatever the thing is, right? Everyone's on a thing. And I feel like cortisol is like a big thing. Everyone's talking about lowering your cortisol and stress and stuff. And as much as like I hate there being a thing that's just like all over the place that everyone just can't stop talking about, I do think um it's definitely important to pay attention to. And a big reason like why I had that whole heart situation in the summertime was just like unchecked stress that I didn't wasn't even aware of, anymore. And it's just like you can really mess up your nervous system and all those kinds of things. So I do think talking about stress, managing stress, because again, something we also don't think about all the time is as much as we love running and it makes us feel better, and when we're done we're so like calm and it makes our anxious thoughts go away, whatever it is, like that is actually stress on your body because you are working, and some stress is good. But if you have adding that stress plus work stress plus whatever else other stress, and then it's just like now my body is just like freaking out. So definitely that part is a huge important thing to make sure you're paying attention to become a better runner.
All right. By the way, before you, last thing, what size shoe are you? If I do
Like
end up ordering a pair that if they only have women's, I'm not going to buy a women's size for me. I'll buy one for you.
Nike, I wear a size 8.
All right.
All the trash talk I've had about barefoot running, sure they'll never send me shoes.
All right. Well, if Nike doesn't send it to you free, I will buy you a pair of these if I can get them.
You ever find them?
Yeah.
Deal. All
All
right,
right.
make sure you share the podcast with someone and subscribe, and we will